what was that one thing that really turned you into like, I want to be a customer?
I would say just the attention to detail. And he said that you guys provide the service from any aspect. Like a customer can take on clients that whatever credit score, any kind of business, whether it's just starting or very seasoned, and you guys can work with them. So that me being brand new and just getting my feet wet, it
Right.
was very monumental to understand that, okay, it can help me establish my business better than I thought, because I never even thought about these things.
Right.
And just some of the things that your representatives were telling me, kind of eye opening for me. And that was the piece that kind of stuck out to me from Andrew, is like your team really works with everybody, and they just kind of drill into the education and providing that whatever knowledge level the client is on, they can provide that consistent piece. And that thing that helped me to grow and understand, okay, this is something I need to work on and do now.
Awesome. Because yeah, I tell all my clients this, especially my credit repair clients. I know you're not there, or I tell people all this time, like, what's the whole point of me fixing a credit if you still have bad borrow behaviors, and then in 3 months from now, after doing all this hard work that I did to fix your credit, then you come back to me saying you have bad credit again. Other times, like for example, I can remove every the negative items. Let's say I struck gold, I'm able to remove everybody's negative items. Then you can get a proof of whatever you want. So for example, for all the people who want to buy their dream home, their first home, start a family, like, hey, even after credit repair, if you don't then start exhibiting good borrow behaviors and learn how to build your credits, you're still not going to get qualified for the home, even if I remove all your collections. So it's learning and being educated on how you can leverage your credit to be able to get X, Y, and Z. We can get you an 850, but what's the whole point of you getting an 850 if you have no knowledge or know how to actually manage it and leverage it to take it to your fullest advantage? That's the core goal, like to really be able to educate people. How was the onboarding process?
It was pretty easy, just a lot being thrown at me. But I mean, I was a little anxious, providing all the information, a little overwhelming, but at the same time, just knowing that they were very professional about it. Understanding that was help take that burden off my shoulders, and saying, okay, this is what we need to do in order to build my credit and get to even a higher credit score. And then also to just improve my behaviors and whatever habits I do have.
No, absolutely. I totally understand. Is there anything that you feel like we could have done? Anything that I could personally do to make it even like, you know what? I would have been so much more comfortable right off the bat if it would have been presented like this, or said, or this was said, or whatever may happen.
I guess the concerning piece was knowing that, I don't know, I guess you're offshore or headquarters is offshore or
Or
wherever you're
we're
supposed to be
remote.
located.
Yeah, remote.
Remote. Yeah, that
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
the kind of thing I was like, okay, is this legit? And
yeah.
knowing that, okay, you're using VPNs and bouncing and all that
Right.
kind of stuff. And then also during the onboarding, I'm having to go through some kind of security measures with the various credit bureaus and getting passwords and all that kind of stuff. It seemed kind of iffy at first, but knowing that they're professional and it shows that they've done it before and that they handle everything, all your personal information or sensitive information securely, and it's not like something that they're throwing around, and effective with everything. Just like the processes I was watching them do everything, and everything was like really, really quick, faster than I could do things and
Yeah.
put two and two together. So
To
it
be
was great.
honest with you, we've done it so many times. Like even last year, I think just last year alone, we've gone through over 350 clients over last year alone, and we're trying to like break that record this year to have over 500 clients alone this year. We've done it so many times. I have built so many LLCs for so many clients that after a few, I started timing myself to see how fast I can build a website, get all the documents needed for a company, file the company, get the EIN number, and set up the website. Like, and it was my fastest record time was 43 minutes. So
Oh, really?
we've done this so many times. So, but yes, but I'm glad that you felt like, you know what? I know that handling all this personal information is highly concerning, but I'm really glad to hear that they're handling as professional as possible. And the whole thing with the being remote is like, this is the only way we can help more clients out, because most of our entrepreneurs all over the States, if I had to do it locally, I would only be able to help people here in San Diego, right? Which there is a mass market for entrepreneurs here. But then at the end of the day, I would rather be able to be nationwide to help as many people as possible, right? That's my only thing, right? And then what's the whole point of office, especially after COVID? You get onboarded, and then after the onboarding call, how fast did you see results?
I would say, I mean, as soon as we established the accounts at various places, I think it was like a week later, we started, I think it was the funding manager. I can't remember what the exact
Yeah,
title was, but
Harold.
Harold, yeah, he called and was like, all right, ready to, let's get started. And I was like, oh, I thought you had to have the account seasoned for like weeks, months, and have
Yeah.
that relationship built, depositing money and, that slow
Right.
process.
So it's beautiful that you bring that up, because not just one way to build business credit. There's multiple ways that you can go ahead and handle this. Just like a relationship, many people have different types of relationship with different people. It works the same way. Like if we were to take the super long game and work the best way, and it also depends on how fast you need this capital, where's your credit standing at now? How is your business standing now? Because I've gotten anywhere from like, Eddie, I'm 18 years old. I want to get it into credit. I don't, or want to be an entrepreneur. don't have credit, how to then obviously my method of helping him get started is way different from yours, and then way
Mhm.
different from a company that's making $15 million a year, has been in the industry for 10 years, have tax returns and all this stuff, right?
Right.
So it's just different avenues, and depending on their urgency and where they're at the time being, where they want to go, is where we take it. And for most people, especially when they're like kind of starting, all the way to like I've been doing this for like about a year or two. They're in a phase where it's like, okay, first let's dip our toes in the water. Did it with you, which is with a sole proprietor, because a lot of people don't understand that you can get business credit with a sole prop, and then also at the same time apply for the same credit products with the LLC. That way we tip our toes in the water, see how they're liking it. Like for example, hey, U.S. Bank said like, we don't know you, Chris. We need to know you first.
Yep.
That's almost like extra validation. So you're telling me that the only thing now I need to do is just opening a checking account. They get to know me, and then I can get
Mhm.
approved. Instead of me telling you, go open 15 bank accounts right now, then we can just tiptoe, okay, who's willing to approve us first? And then everybody who came back and told us, no, you get a relationship with us. And let's say it's only 3 banks out of the 15. Now you only have to focus on 3 banks to build the relationship and then put money that way. Because again, I don't know how much capital you got, right?
Mhm.
If you were to tell me, hey man, I got $500,000 in the bank ready to like disperse, build relationships, do X, Y, and Z. Trust me, I've had those clients. They have the capital to be able to just open 10 accounts, go crazy, fund them for 6 months, and then get close to anywhere from 150 to $250,000 off one bank every, like
Right. Yeah.
precisely going down the line. But again, it just depends on where you're at, right? And what your goals
Mhm.
are. So yeah, eventually we would love to get you there, but
Yep.
baby steps first, baby steps first. And then, that's a long-term play. That's what I'm working on. But yeah, it's a lot of handling and stuff like that. So it can get a little confusing, but I'm glad that everything is going well so far. Now, after Harold called you, hey, we're going for funding. How was that process, and how much did you get approved for, if you recall, so far?
That process went really well, smoothly. I was assuming that I had to be on the phone the whole time doing the funding and stuff like that, or like trying to get the funding. But I was just like, okay, be available for this small period of time for if we need codes or if we need anything that's sent to your phone or email, and just
Right.
be able to be accessible. I love that. I was actually on vacation with my family, and I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? But it actually worked out because I was at a playground with my kids, and it's like, I'm going to step away for 2 minutes, take a small phone call, go back, and it worked out perfectly.
That's the beautiful part, right? Because this is all done for you, right? It gets handled, it gets taken care of. And even so, like I said, you signed up for this a few weeks ago, right? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And we
Yes.
got you approved without an LLC still for about almost $40,000 in business credit, not including the charge card that you got, right? Also, on top of that, we got to see what's going to be stopping you in the future to get more funding, which is if you don't mind me saying this on a recording, is like what
Mhm.
we said earlier, right? The lack of relationship with certain banks. So now we know, hey, guess what we're going to do on the next call? We're going to start establishing those relationships. That way we
Right.
get to see them maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then apply for credit with them with the LLC. That also gives you 1, 2, 3 months of whatever new accounts you have on your current personal credit report. That's giving them more time for them to season, to get older. The
Yep.
24-month look back period goes 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. Okay.
Oh,
Obviously,
okay.
each term gets better. They chose the 6 month mark for them to, whenever a new account gets added to your credit report after 6 months, that's when they start seeing it a little bit more seasoned. But it only happens after 2 years that then no longer becomes new credit. And then on top of that, there's more steps. So there's 2, 4, 6, 7, 11, 25. So
Okay.
25 years. So this is why, like, for example, if your grandma had a 25-year-old credit card, that account is like super seasoned. That's super, super good. Thank you for joining on this call, man. I'm super excited for you to see what else you're going to be able to get approved and what you're going to be able to do with the funding. We're just still waiting for you to receive those credit cards. So hopefully, I believe you should be
Yeah.
receiving them today. When you get them, please take pictures, video, say thanks, whatever, send that to us. We love that as testimonials. We love shouting you guys out. Also, scan the paper that it has, credit card agreement form, whatever it has the credit limit. Okay. That way,
Okay.
again, we can use that as testimonials, and we can use that as agreement as part of the contract. That way, like, hey, this is what we've been able to get you. Any last questions? First of all, any concerns, anything that you want to add? What we've been doing great besides everything we already talked about, or anything we could do better for you?
The process has been pretty expedited. Yep, definitely excited for that. Just looking forward to getting these rejections off my list, I guess, and moving, pressing through those and
Yeah,
getting accepted,
rejections
hopefully.
are part of the process, man. You don't have to worry anything about that. And that's the cool thing because, yeah, okay, actually, even on the approvals, if you flip it on one of the papers, if you flip it on the backside, every single time you apply for credit, whether you get approved or denied, they have to tell you what credit bureau they pulled. So please, oh, so that's why we need you to scan those papers because what
Oh, okay.
we have a data log of every single application that we submit. That way we can see trends. Oh, Bank of America is usually always pulling this credit bureau in this state. And after below this credit score, they're usually denying. On top of this credit score, they're usually approving. And then the big factors they're always denying for are for these factors. You see, so we
Okay.
accumulate all this data, and then also for you specifically, even on the approval, they say, okay, they tell you they have to tell you this. They have to tell you what credit bureau they pulled. They got to tell you what scoring model they use, what version of FICO they use. They got to tell you what's your current credit score with that scoring model, and then lastly, they have to give you 5 FICO borrow behaviors that are potentially negatively impacting your credit score. So if we get to see those top 5, they're knowing the first one, it may not be the number one. They're just like, hey, here's 5 factors that are currently affecting your credit report. Then based on those, I can actually tell, okay, I've seen this one so common and we know how to fix it. So let's go ahead and fix it. Let's establish that borrow behavior for the next 3 months. And then
Okay.
once you have that new borrow behavior on your credit report, boom, we apply with the LLC and we keep going. It can either be, man, it can be as fast as the next 30 days, or it can be like, hey, you know what, Chris, for you, we need to slow it down a little bit. We got to wait 30 days, 3 months or 6 months, whatever, however long it may take. Thank you. I appreciate it. Nice meeting you, bro. I'm super excited for you. I'll talk to you later,
Nice
man.
meeting
Okay?
you. Okay. Thank you.